Oh, oh my God. This is so good. I can't believe it. It's just so freaking delicious. Hey guys, how's it going? So today we have a very special episode. I'm gonna actually do one of my favorite dishes, which are called Liege waffles, which is a specialty of my country, and they're really, really simple to do. When I make them, I actually try to come out with about 12 to 14 waffles, and then I ration them. You can keep them easily in the fridge or in the freezer. Usually in the freezer is better, and then you can heat them up in the microwave or on the stove. It only takes about 20 seconds in the microwave to heat it up, and they come out just as fresh as if you bake them on the same day. But without any further ado, let's get cracking on showing you how to do those beautiful, delicious Liege waffles. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to get some flour. I like to use all-purpose flour, and what we're going to do is we're going to use 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Once again, can't forget that we're actually making 14 waffles more or less. So if you want to do less, if you want to only do, let's say 7 waffles, then you would basically half everything that I'm using as my ingredients. But for my purpose, we're making 14 waffles. So first of all, what we want to do is have 4 cups of all-purpose flour. And what you want to do is you want to put it in a bowl. So I'm gonna put these 4 cups in a bowl. Once you've put the 4 cups of flour in the pot, then what you want to do is you want to get 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, and you want to add it. I like to use organic raw sugar just because it's organic and it seems to be like the healthiest kind of sugar. So I like to use this one. So let's mix it up. 3 tablespoons, perfect. Okay. So once we've done that, what I'd like to add at that moment is some active yeast. In order to make those 14 waffles, you're going to need about 4 teaspoons of active yeast. So you want to use these measuring spoons because they're very, very practical. If you don't have them, well, go get some. They're very, very cheap on Amazon or at the 99-cent store. Once you've added the dry yeast, what I like to add is 1 teaspoon of salt. So you take, again, your trustworthy teaspoon, and you just add a little bit of salt. So here we go. And once you've done this, and I'm going to close here the salt. So what you're going to do is you're going to add 2/3 of a cup of lukewarm water. And it's really important that it's lukewarm because there's active yeast in here. So if you put hot water in it, you're basically killing the yeast. The yeast is kind of alive, so you want all the bacteria and all that stuff to kind of make everything rise. While I'm combining this, I'm actually going to be also mixing at the same time. So here I have my trustworthy mixer. Of course, if you don't have a mixer, you can always do it by hand, but it's much simpler this way. Now that everything is nice and mixed, take 6 eggs, break the eggshells, and combine the whole egg with the dough. Okay, now that we've put in the 6 eggs, what you're gonna do is you're gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Here we go. This is 2. Okay, once you've added the vanilla extract, one of the last things that you want to do is you actually want to take 1 pound of butter, put it in a pan and let it melt thoroughly. Once melted, let it cool down for 15 to 20 minutes, and then add it to the bowl with the mixed dough. Again, don't add it scorching hot because, well, it'll kill the yeast. We want to keep them alive so that they can do their thing. Now that everything is mixed, use your hand mixer or big spoon and continue mixing until everything is nice and blended. You should end up with a slightly wet and sticky dough. Now that the dough has been mixed, all that's really left to be done is to cover up that bowl of dough. So we're gonna do that right now. And once it's covered, we'll leave it that way for maybe an hour or 2. And then I like to mix in my Belgian pearl sugar. Now, some grocery stores do have it in store, but I personally prefer just getting some on Amazon and having it shipped to my house. It's extremely inexpensive and a very important ingredient to Liege waffles. Regular sugar will just not blend the same way. Once you have the pearl sugar, mix 2 cups of it with the dough and mix it in with a wooden spoon. It really doesn't take much effort to mix in this last bit of sugar. So now the pearl sugar is mixed. I'm gonna cover it up for another 15 minutes. While the dough is rising, it's a good time to take a Belgian waffle iron and let it preheat for at least 10 minutes. And if you're wondering where to buy an iron, once again, I'd recommend Amazon. It's just convenient to get it from there, and after all, we're already getting the pearl sugar online, so might as well get the iron there too. Traditionally, Liege waffles are supposed to be circular, but if you want to make them squared, I'm sure they'll just be as delicious. I like the circular shape, so I tend to only use the middle part of my iron and heat one waffle at a time. I do recommend making little balls out of your dough simply because it'll give you a better idea of how many waffles you end up with. Let's see how it came out. Nice. Here we go. A beautiful, beautiful Liege waffle right here. Just to help you guys out, here's a recap of the ingredients needed in order to cook 14 to 16 waffles. 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 4 teaspoons of active dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, and stir to combine. Then add 2/3 cup of lukewarm water, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 6 eggs, take 2 cups of butter and melt it in a pan. Let it cool off before mixing in the dough one last time. Cover with a towel and let it rise for at least 90 minutes and add 2 cups of pearl sugar. Mix it in once again with just a tablespoon or a wooden spoon and let it rise for at least another 15 minutes. And voila! You're ready to heat up your waffle iron and cook these babies. Here we go. We have 16 Liege waffles. Aren't they beautiful? I'm really so happy with this. As you can tell from the recipe, it's not very hard to do. It just does take a little bit of time to wait for the yeast to, take its effect, and then you have to add that granulated pearl sugar, and then you of course have to put it in the waffle maker and all that stuff. But it doesn't take too much time, and honestly, you're not going to eat all this all at once. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Please be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave me a comment. Let me know how your waffles turned out. I'm curious, but as far as I can tell, it smells delicious, and I'm pretty darn sure that I'm going to enjoy each and every one of them. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.